Yeah, thanks for the intro. I think everybody got the seat. Is any seat unfilled? There's one seat unfilled. There's one there. All right. Okay. Can you start? All right. So how many of you are students here? 50. Can I take 50%? 50%? Okay, 50% is good. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just talk about. Anybody knows what is IDX here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, almost 10. Almost like 3-4% of the crowd. All right. So I always start with why. Any point of time, right? So I always talk with why. Why should I use IDX? Anybody can tell me why should I use IDX? Project IDX. I don't have Mac. Beautiful. What else? How many of you worked in mobile platforms? All the students. Correct? Everybody will install Android Studio to get that Android app done. No? The next startup or next app you want to do. How tough is for you to install and for the laptop? Right? It kills the laptop, right? Is that right? Correct? So what happens is when you install Android Studio, I don't know, you do a small Android app, even if you do a Flutter app, you have to install Android Studio, and we might even never open it, but still need Android Studio in that, and then it kills your whole laptop, correct? So yeah, so those are the problems that needs. So why is that? Is because even if I have a very good laptop, the problem is it will take so much of my resources. Okay, so what if I wanted to any web developers here? Okay, so anytime you get a Git repo, clone a repo, and you run in say Angular one version, and the CLI will be different version, and they need to uninstall that version, even though there is a Docker file, there is still a problem, right? So these are the problems that comes up when you do on your system, it works in my system problem, or the other problems that comes up where you want to change your CLI or the version in your laptop to other source code to accommodate few things you need to do. So that is where the IDX comes in, where it runs in cloud. Okay. Yeah, what is IDX is? IDX is just a workspace where you can run your code in cloud. Okay, that's the overall gist of it. How they have done it is the crux of things we need to do. Okay, so yeah, so IDX has come. Is there? So do we still need a Visual Studio Code? Yeah. So the point is, Visual Studio Code still will be there because Microsoft has actually open sourced Visual Studio. If you see the UI layout, the IDX will be almost same as Visual Studio Code. Okay, they use that OSS thing. I'll show you the source code if you want. 1 second. So I can still edit code in GitHub, correct? Is that right? So what is the difference between these two? Anybody? Browser specific. What is that? IDE. So this is the open source version of. Oh, this is not here. I duplicated it. This is the open source version of open source code for Visual Studio. This is what by IDX also is bought. Okay, it's basically OSS, code OSS, which will be used here. Okay, fine. Let's shift into a small demo. So I understood, right, what IDX is just another Visual Studio in the cloud. The difference between Visual Studio GitHub, so you can edit a code in your GitHub, am I right? You guys have tried. The only difference between this and the IDX is you can actually build and run the same in Project IDX. Okay, so let's see a demo. I think then you will be able to understand what I'm talking about. So project IDX. So you can select your Angular project. Okay, I can just say some demo. Yes. Okay, so I have just exceeded the limit. So I'll just open a one which has already been created. All right. Okay. So yes. So what I have done is I've just what we'll do. Yeah, I'll just maybe delete this and then come back. So I'm going to create it. So what this does is, this actually creates a environment workspace. It initializes your environment. It actually installs a VM for you. Okay, all the code runs in a different VM. The one more advantage is you can actually set up Flutter, where you don't have to install Android Studio, and you can even build an Android app. The major thing is for Android app, it will install everything for you, Android Studio, all the needed all the DLS that are needed. So that is the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just skip this part. All right. So I'll just, what I have done here is I have just created an Angular app which is running right here. For time sensitiveness, I'm going to write a to-do app on the go. Okay. Fine. So how you can see how easy it is to write a app here. Most of the people would have used Copilot, right? How many have used Copilot? All GitHub, you bought Copilot, or how does it work? Company sponsored, okay. All students, how did you get Copilot version? GitHub Student Pack, beautiful. What is that? Student Pack, beautiful. Okay, fine. So this is still maturing its place to get to that level. Okay, so it is not as I would say it's faster than Copilot, but it's not as smart as Copilot. Okay, it's just getting there, but the thing is it's in the cloud, so it is pretty smart for me. Right, so I'm going to write a to-do app. Yeah, let me start writing it. So I just created an Angular app. NGGC. So ng generate component. So let's say to do. So this is all happening in cloud. It's not in Visual Studio. It's done. Okay. So I'm going to write code. So I'm going to tell my component. You know what? Yeah, so let's so I'm going to use the Gemini, the AI feature. Okay, create, add and delete function for to-do app. So it's generating. It will show you like this is what is going to be generated. So I'm going to click on accept here. It's visible, right? It's okay. Alright, so I've created a component, so it did all the stuff, so it created function and everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just create an HTML for that. So yes, so the code is done now. I think something is missing. Yeah, mostly it's the common module and forms module. Okay, I think it's fine. Okay. All right, so let me go and wire this component. So I can see the app here. Okay, I didn't do anything, it's actually working. And then I'm gonna tie that with app component. Okay, probably it is working. Yes, now I'm gonna so I didn't write any lines of code. I am just using the prompt to create an app. Okay, I think yes. What's happening? Yes, I need to add to do component. Yes, probably it works. Yes, yeah. So I'll add task 1, task 2. Okay, yeah, fine. So you saw, right? Okay, how we created an app without even writing one single line of code. Right? So since you have seen Copilot, you would have not got so excited to see this. But I have not even edited one line of code. It understood that HTML. We understood that file. If it's an HTML file, it was giving HTML. If it is an TS file, it is given Angular. And it also gave since it was an Angular 17, it also gave a for loop for Angular 17. Okay, so it understood the context and then built the thing. Okay, so this is where you can use, and then most of the AI stuff, or I can talk to the Gemini here, explain selected code, or yeah, what I'll do is I'll go to TS here. Maybe I'll ask that to add JS doc. Okay, so it adds documents here, and also what I can do is I'm going to write a unit test. Okay, I'm going to say for delete. Okay, so it's giving me this. I have to check its index is there, that's fine. Okay, so I'm not having any object there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and wait for it to understand. Yes, okay. Yeah, so what I have done here is it's basically only an array, right? It's a string array. So I'm just, no, it's not an object, so it was throwing me an error. Now it's fine. I can even run the test here. The problem with this, running this test is it will try like multiple time before start running. So I'm gonna just make it run, and then we'll move to the next part of the exciting thing I want to talk to you about. Okay, so that is Project IDX. So we saw code generation, right? Yes, and then we saw unit test. We saw a demo about unit test. Documentation, JS doc we saw. Refactoring, I'll just show you after some time. Okay, this is what I'm excited to talk about. Okay, I have like 25 minutes. I'll just anybody knows what playwright is? Anyone here? One, two, three. That's it. Okay, what is playwright? Automation library. Okay, how many of you know what is end-to-end testing? One. That's it. Two. Fine. So maybe plus whatever who opened. Who showed their hand for playwright plus couple of people. Automation testing or end-to-end testing is something you can actually test your UI without any human intervention. Okay, so you write a code so that it goes test. The toughest part to test in web is to test the UI, right? So if you want to go to the 10 forms, you just need to fill multiple forms and then go to the 10th form, and then you have to check whether that works, and then you come back, correct? Every time that's a problem to test the web applications. So, okay, how many of you done E2E testing here? End-to-end testing? One. அவ்வளோதானா? Experience எல்லாமே அவ்வளோதான் பண்ணீங்களா? How many have experience? All those are experienced, right? I know 50% are experienced here. Nobody has done end-to-end testing. UI testing பண்ணிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? It runs on the pipe build line. Okay. ஏன் இவ்வளோ எனர்ஜி கம்மியா இருக்கு? Okay, fine. So why end-to-end testing பேசுவோம்? I think that might be the right scope of things to do. See, the point is, with the amount of application that is built in a faster pace of world, right? You need people to test all your web application or mobile application, okay? And then it is very cumbersome. If you automate that testing, it is actually pretty nice to do the work. If you don't automate testing, the problem is you need more people to test, and it will always be a problem to the release cycles will come up, go down. Amazon does 25,000 releases per week, I guess, something like that. And Microsoft also does, like they do like thousands and thousands of releases per week. That cannot be done if the testings are automated, right? And one more thing is, the more startup mode we are moving into, we should be able to test our code as soon as possible. We can't wait for someone to come and test and then we release it, right? And if you want to make that part of your developer pipeline, it's actually pretty good, right? So even if you want to say, if you are writing certain code, if you have to go navigate to 10th form, if it's in the 7th form, 8th form, and then you want to test certain things, you actually go and then type next, you select the drop down, and then you go to the next page, and then 10th page it will be there. For what is the best way to not do that? Automate. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒன்று, what is that? End-to-end testing. Okay. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒன்று இருக்கு. There is one thing. What is that? Manual testing, huh? What is that? See, there are like 10 forms. I actually navigate the 10th form and then test. Okay. What is the best way of not doing that? What I can do? இவ்வளோ பேர் இருக்கீங்களா? அவ்வளோ பேரா? Command 9 forms அடி போட்டு தள்ளு. Okay, super. யார் அந்த if? Who is that? You, huh? You said if. Oh, who said if? Somebody said if. இல்லை நான் hallucinate பண்ணுறேன் இல்லையா? Okay, what is the best way to test that 10th form? Unit test. Exactly. அப்பா ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்படுறேன். என் ஆஃபீஸ்லேருந்து ஒருத்த உட்காந்துருக்கேன், அவங்க கூட மேட்ச் சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறான். Okay, so yeah, so unit test the best way to test, but there are certain times you need to test the end, right? End result. Okay, the best way to test is use this playwright. You can write on your own. I'll show you one more cool thing that is happening with LLM. I would say this is the See, LLM is there for almost what 2-3 years. ChatGPT on the end 2 years. Almost 2 years. Okay, and ChatGPT is the best thing that can happen to an LLM. And after that, it's Copilot. No, the Copilot came in. Nadella, I think you know the history, right? Nadella came in, and then he saw Microsoft, and then he moved to cloud because he understood selling OS is no more a big thing because Linux is all coming around and Mac is backing it off. And then he started, okay, you know what, it's all going to be cloud. And then he went and he wants, if he doesn't want cloud to perform, they have to move from Windows to Linux. Otherwise, even Azure will go obsolete. So what they did is they want developers to be there. So that's when they went to GitHub. Okay, so they bought GitHub. And when they bought GitHub, GitHub was having a project called Copilot. Okay, that Copilot version, when he saw a demo, he realized LLM is ready because LLM is there for 60 years, almost there. And the NLP thing, the algorithms are for 60 years. Then he realized, you know what, Copilot has come, so LLM is ready, so he bought it. That's why he went and invested in OpenAI. Okay, that's why the ChatGPT came. Right, so the best thing that happened is ChatGPT, and after that, first the Copilot and ChatGPT, and after that everybody talks about LLM. I can 100% say everybody that talks about LLM has no product which has a proper LLM here. Correct? Anybody can tell me who has a product which uses LLM, not use LLM, like proper product use case for LLM? Nobody. Everybody takes, I know LLM, this LLM 5 to Meta, Grok, everything, but nobody has a product which actually who can use proper LLM and then make a good output of it, right? Correct? Okay. So this is where I came across this new one, which actually uses, I would say it's next to ChatGPT. Okay, uses proper LLM for writing the code. Okay, so end-to-end testing, please work with me. Yaar eldirka? Proper eldirka? You end-to-end test. Yaar eldirka? End-to-end testing. Parala, I'm not gonna. Who said? Yeah, who has written LLM? You end-to-end. Yeah. That's fine. I wrote 15 years before, so don't worry. Okay. Python, yes. So what is the problem with writing that LLM? Sorry, that code.
Means we have to just replicate the same test case, like we have to get the data.
Okay.
Just write the logic.
Mm-hmm.
Need to verify the outputs.
True. What is the other problem?
We may miss out some test cases, like we may not be able to cover all the scenarios.
Yeah, that's fine. That's always you do. As a developer, we always miss all the test cases. I'm talking about writing the code. What is the problem in writing the code?
It takes time.
Takes time. Why?
Because we have to think and we have to do it. Like we have to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the main part.
Okay.
It takes time.
Yeah. So the main problem with stuff is you need if you press F12, right? You can see lots of HTML. Correct? You have to tell the path, the text path or the CSS selector for the automation robo or whatever bot to go and select that control. It's actually pretty difficult. So when you move the control somewhere else, your test will fail. Okay? So you understand what I'm saying? So when you write a automation code, what will happen is you write, say, it will be inside some multiple divs. 4 divs we put inside. Okay? Then if I change the XPath or the CSS selector, what will happen is it will break. Okay? So Playwright, what Playwright does is it actually removes that problem. Okay? So it works in headless mode and all the other good stuff. I'll show you the code how it Playwright shows. Yeah. Yes. So this is how the code looks. Okay. So I just can write. There is something called get by role. If you know this get by role alone, right, you can actually go and select any link or button, anything. If you put it in anywhere or any part of the web page, it will still search and figure it out. One more thing is, I need someone who can actually work with me. Okay. So one more problem with HTML is, can anybody tell me what is one more problem with HTML? HTML test, if you want to automate the test of HTML, what might be one more problem? What is that? Reference are changing, beautiful one. It should be in the view, meaning it should be loaded, right? So it takes some time. When the internet is slow or any other things, it actually what will it go and search, the page would have not rendered. I mean, the way we write code, it will somewhere inside. Okay, so you will not be able to the bot might not be able to search the control, and then it will fail. The good thing about this is this will wait. That's why there is something called wait here, await. Okay. So until the control is loaded, it will wait and then figure it out, and it has a timeout and all, but it actually figures out. So it's basically understood your full HTML and then waits for that control to load and then tests. Okay. So yeah, so that is a good thing about Playwright. Okay. So we solved that problem, meaning there was a problem where when you write end-to-end testing, what happens is if I want to search the control, I have to go figure out where it is, and then if it changes, it will fail. The Playwright solves that problem. Okay, but what is the other problem we have now? Anyone? What is the other problem we have? Selectors changes. Yeah, that's what Playwright is actually fixed that. That is true. What is the other problem we have? Context. Yeah, very good. What else? Mock? Yeah. Mock what? Mock inputs. Okay. Yeah, mock inputs. Yeah, true. What else can be there? Major problem you always have, no? What? Huh? Reporting. Okay. What is the other problem here? Requirement changes. Correct? Every time the requirement changes, I have to go and what? Change, right? There will one more button added or one more text box added. What should I do? I have to go, it will break, no? It will break, or I remove it, add, it will break, right? So what is the best thing we can do? Yeah. What is the best thing? What is the other thing I can do? Use LLM, beautiful. Okay. Okay. Use LLM properly. Okay. So I mean, as I said, this is the next use case I have seen across where the LLM is properly used. It's just show you a way it has been done. It's a pretty good one. Okay. So I have one full page. Okay, which has 10 controls. Right. So if I want to write the lines of code, how many lines of code should I write? Say let's use the get role, right? So I have to write 10 lines of code, because for every text box I have to fill some value, find that, fill some value, click it, correct? 10 text boxes plus couple of buttons, it will be 12. And the requirement changes, you actually remove the two text boxes, change your drop down, one more text box is added, it will become 13, right? So how much I have to go and write the code over and over and again? Is that correct? Can you visualize what I am talking about? There is one screen which has 12 controls, 8 text boxes, 10 text boxes, 2 buttons, 2 text boxes change to a couple of combo box, and then I am adding one more text box which will be 13 controls. So I have to go what? Change couple of combo box, add one more text box, correct? So how can I use LLM here? Anybody? Okay, what is LLM? Anybody? Huh? Large language model. Okay, what does it actually do? Generates code. Okay. Generates content. Okay. What is that? Given a prompt with answers, you are very spoiled by ChatGPT. Okay. Yeah. Learns from other answers. That's reinforcement learning. Model by itself never changes. Okay. Okay. Parameter. Okay. I'll give you an example. I am asking for a Python code. Okay. Will I get a Python code or not? For any problem? I will get, right? What is happening in between? Anybody? அப்படியே எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்ச வாடி போடுங்க. Tokens, parameters. Yeah, not wrong. I'm not wrong. Yeah. Basically what it does. Yes. So understood the context. What else it does? See what it does. I am talking in English, right? It is converting to machine understandable language and then replying it back to in English, right? Correct? So I am asking give me a Python code for to do app. What it does is it goes, understands the RAG or the database for Python code and then gives a comment and then comes back. Correct? What it does is, all it does is what? Transformation, right? It's basically a transformer. That is why you can ask, you can change this is very important, okay? You can change one line of code, write a SQL query for left join between employees table and employee details or whatever it is. It actually goes and understands a SQL and then brings a SQL, right? Okay. Yes. So there is a transformation that is happening. So this is where you have to think. If you think in terms of LLM, think in terms of how can I use my English knowledge to get some other knowledge. Either can be a SQL, MongoDB or French, Tamil, whatever it is. So it acts as a transformer. It is intelligent enough to what? Understand the context, save the context, give you some output. Okay, that's the LLMs. I would say it's overall how LLM works. So if you think in terms of you want to put LLM in your project, just think LLM is a transformer. How can I use it in my project? Okay, fine. So we again coming back to the zeros. Coming back to our criteria, what was the problem we spoke about? There were like changes that needs to be what? Okay, so the changes that needs to be, I think the oxygen is less. Okay, yeah, the changes that needs to be adopted, correct? Fine. How can I make it simple? Anybody? இப்போ சொல்லுங்க பார்க்கலாம். How can I use LLM here? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yes. Okay. So I'll show you that. So this is what it is. This is the only one line of code I write. Okay. I'll write, fill out the form with realistic values. What will happen now? Yes. Otherwise, I have to write how many lines of code? How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See it's actually filling out the form with realistic value. What it does is what? It understands and transforms your underlying context to data. Okay. Now I can write my what? end-to-end testing within seconds. Okay. Now I can test my code before giving it to developer, and also if I want to test my 10th form, all I have to write is what? Even if it needs a navigation to 10th form, you can write just fill out necessary files, necessary data, move, and it will be on the 10th form. It will be only 10 lines of code, correct? Maybe you might have to dismiss some pop-ups. So you still have code for dismissing pop-up and all. Is that clear now? Okay. So your the amount of time you put in for coding will still reduce. Right? Already ChatGPT la copy panni podrom. Okay. Okay. So see, we used to tell, okay, we copy code from internet to our Visual Studio Code, and then it will throw some error. Take the code from Visual Studio, put it in the internet. It will give you some code. Again, you put and make it work. Okay. So this is another way of simplifying life where you don't have to do that also. Okay. All I have to do is what? AI of fill out those values. So you actually write proper English, and it actually understands the context and then builds codes for you at the back end and then runs it. So whenever if I add 100 more controls into this, what I have to do? I still don't have to what? Prompt remains the same. It still will test you. There will be errors. I am not saying it will not be error. It will all be there. But still it will do a very sanity based testing will be done. Correct? Okay. So this is where the 0 step is. I am going to give you a small demo on that. I think how much time I have? 5 minutes. 10 more minutes. Okay. All right. So this is the code. I'm just show you a. This has multiple example. I'll show you which one. Okay, this is better. Yeah. Anybody who did not understand what I spoke about? Everybody clear? Any doubts? Okay, any doubts? இருக்குமே கொஞ்சமாவது எங்கேயோ ஒரு லைட்டா there will be a problem where you cannot accept or relate.
Can we use it for mobile?
Yes.
So we have plugins.
Yes. Cross browser. It's right now it's cross browser ready. Playwright works for mobiles, a few mobiles. Yeah.
So mobile in the sense not in the browser. Like I want to.
Mobile. It will not right now. Yes. Again, it's all LLM. Write a proper English, it understands.
From the HTML form, if I'm giving a pattern, the text pattern, I'll be able to pick that.
Yes. Yeah. Any other questions? Meaning?
So we have understanding like it does this something, and we know like we explore more, so it does something. So what it can't do?
Where is it coming from?
Here.
Somewhere here. Okay. What it cannot do? What it cannot do is what it cannot do is basically it's limited to the amount of trial and error you should be able to say. For example, if I want to give a complex way of drop down, it has to be this. Understand what I'm saying? Say for example, if I select an employee who is a manager, and then if I want to, if a manager is too many people are reporting to them, and then I have to select this. So those kind of complexity needs a little bit of extra string you need to write.
Extra context.
Extra context we need to add and then let it understand, and it has also the token limitations, right? The token limitation when passes, it might screw error. Also, it talks to an LLM at the back end, right? So if LLM is slower, this will be slow also. That is I would say that is the main thing. There is something called auto that talks to OpenAI, right? That's little slower than 0 step. 0 step uses their own AI, so it is actually faster. Okay, fine. So I'll just show you a quick demo on. Okay, so I'll just put get started. So number of lines, what you have to do is you just have to go here, and then there is a playwright config, 0 step config, and then I need to add the key. It's like some 400-500 requests are free, and after that it costs you. Okay, I would still say that you can still use it, and then for you just need to add this line. This is part of the playwright package. Okay, so AI, and then this will be your code. Okay, when you run it, I'll just run it faster. So I'm just running with the UI. This will almost look like a browser, then there will be one where there will be another browser. I'm going to just run this so it will be faster. I have 7 more minutes. 2 more minutes. 35 or 30? 30. So, okay, so just testing. Okay, so it's just doing the testing here. Okay, yeah. So if you can see here, you can actually see the timeline here, how it was, and then you can see that it's typing. I think it's not as clear here, but in monitors it will be clear. So I can see the timeline. It goes and inputs all the value. The amount of line code that is written for that is, it's basically what? Where is Google here? Yeah. There's only this. Okay. For the whole purpose, okay, I have written only this line of code. The actual line of code actually you have written is only this. Okay, fine. All right. So you understood, right? You got the context, no? So you understood the Project IDX, and you can run the same in Project IDX. There was some problem with the Chrome extension, but it still works. Project IDX, and then we spoke about LLM. LLM main concept is what? So basically a transformer. Beautiful. And then for the problem with E2 is you have to get all the selectors, CSS selectors, XPath. That will, if you change it, will not work. So Playwright came up with some problem of just putting it as a get role, the get by role. But still, it's a huge problem, right? When it changes, we still have to go changes. So there is a proper use case of using the LLM where it understands your complete screen, fills the data, context and data, and then navigates forward. Okay, fine. All right. So we saw a demo. So if you want to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn. 1 second. Yeah, this is my LinkedIn. Any questions? They are still working on it. They are saying it's actually, if you see the blog, they are saying it is there, but it's not available. But they are saying it is actually getting ready. It will be ready. I don't think so. It will be a problem because the browser stack and all have done all this before. So they're just going to use that environment alone. So I think it should be okay. It will be ready maybe 2-3 months from now. Any other questions? Okay. Do you want to write code or?
No, I'm just asking. Most of the people are students here. So which one you as a senior people as suggest? Because tomorrow they have to come to your panel interview. Which one you suggest? They want to be in the core code, or they want to use these kind of automation tools?
See, automation tools for me to help reduce my amount of work. Okay. So my point is to solve the business problem.
I'm asking in the.
Yeah, I understood. Say, okay, I understood. Okay, do I have still goes read C, C++, understand the basics, or I have to use GPT? That's what you're asking, correct? Okay, so I would say it's you still have to understand the basics, because when some problem comes up, say, how can I tell you that LLM is a transformer? Anybody? Why did I tell you that, or how can I tell that? Because I understood the basics, right? If I have not understood the basics, I cannot dumb it down and tell you, you know what, going forward, you see a project, think into LLM as in terms of transformers and then start cracking your use cases. That I can tell only if I understand the basics. So basics is always needed. Okay, so that is different thing. So, but if I can make my life easier on doing certain things, I would choose the one which is making my life easier. Okay, so if you ask me, no, you can't do all that. You still have to read, go through the pain. I wouldn't say yes, because we all wrote code in COBOL. If you make one line change, it will show you 250 lines of error. Okay, and then with a small monitor like this, you can't even debug. If you still want me to do that, I don't think so. That's the right way to do. Okay, so yeah, best of both worlds. Understand the basics. That is always the case. Any point of time, understanding basics the best you should do. But you still should use other tools which makes you smart. As you say, no, you will not be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by someone who can use the AI better. So it's always better to use tools. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Good question. ReCAPTCHA, yeah, I think even Python code actually bypasses it. I don't think so it will be a problem right now. You can. Not fully, but there are certain ways. Government sites there are, as you said, reCAPTCHA might not be the thing, but yeah, there are some tweaks here and there. Yeah.
Can you use it for enterprise? Like you told some token.
Yes, you should have to pay. There is an auto. This one, auto playwright, which will work, which is free, but it's slow because it calls you OpenAI. But zero step is pretty fast. Yeah. Any other questions? Can you go? It's a web application. No, it understands HTML and JS, so it's okay. Any other thing? Yes. So what I will do is I'll just play this alone. This is our new. So this is our. So this is our next conference. You can look. This is our next conference. We are planning to do it in November. It's a TechX Conf. We are expecting around 5,000 people. And we'll happy to see you there. So it's happening in Chennai Trade Center. Okay, fine. All right, thanks guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.